welcome to Mechs on Deck. It's Wednesday, 8:11 p.m. in the best time zone of America, Central.
I'm sorry.
It's right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right in
I
the
can't
middle.
get over. We just got done having a conversation talking about cleaning up poop.
We did not. It's a bald-faced lie. It never happened. All hearsay and conjecture, sir.
Let's talk cafe. You know what's great about coffee?
You know what's great about
It makes sense. Just, and no, save it. All right.
Oh man.
Hello, everybody. Covfefe, yes. What does everyone's deal with coffee? No. So yeah, welcome to the stream. Sorry for the poop talk. We can get into that later.
coming out the gate.
It's 2 a.m. Caffeine sounds like a good idea right now. Yeah, I mean,
Man.
if you have to work at like 4, then sure.
Oh, Esky, hi, sweetness. Oh, so many
But
friends.
yeah, welcome. We have. I'm not gonna say his name because I will butcher it. I have been told to call him Jeff.
Hi, it's fine.
So, but yeah, quick shout out to our sponsors. We'll save the fresh one for last. Dixie Mech. I'm really excited to announce this one. Dixie Mech GMK Terra, which I will be getting. I didn't get in on it like opening day, just because I haven't physically gone to the website and done it yet. But GMK Terra, running this month by Rensuya. Great set. Been very excited. We actually like kind of announced it on our show with him. He like released the update like live with us. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, GMK Terra is running right now. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Go get that. Go get all the kits. Use that promo code. Helps us continue the stream.
Then up next we have switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net/mechsondeck. Pick up some lube. He's got 3203, 3204, and 205 grade 0. Pick it up. And he's also running GMK Alter. I think it hit. I haven't looked at it in a little bit, but it was at like 210 last time. So I think it's already hit MOQ. So definitely pick it up if you are looking to get in on GMK Alter.
I mean, there's no way it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like it's a solid set.
It'll definitely do well. And then last but not least, some big news. Zap Cables. We got ourselves another discount code. So Zap Cables makes some of the best cables in the game. And for our 24-hour stream, which is happening November 23rd, we will be building cables to give away. Osiris, myself, and Zap will be giving away the cables that we build live on stream. And Zap came up with a brilliant idea, which he wants as many people building cables at the same time as possible. So if you use our promo code Cable Party, all caps CABLEPARTY, from now until November 20th, I think. It's either 20th or 21st, right? It's the Friday before the 24-hour stream. Cable Party, you get 15% off. One DIY kit, excludes Limos because I think they are out of stock. But yeah, Cable Party, 15% off. It is a one-time use, so be wise when thinking about color choice. But yeah, be sure to check that out. Zap Cables.
So today our guest is Langelandia. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very, very clever name. I'll tell you that, because my last name is Langland, doxed,
Okay.
right? And so
Oof.
the land of Langland would be Langelandia. So it's super clever. Took me a lot of time. So you're welcome.
So what's funny is I actually looked up your name because I didn't want to like feel like an idiot if it like had a significance in a different like segment of pop culture. And it looks like there is like an app or something on how to learn Spanish.
Okay.
Called Langelandia.
Okay, that's interesting. The The surname is very not Spanish. It's exceptionally Danish. I think it literally translates to long land or house. So like we have a long heritage, I think is the idea behind it. I don't know. But anyways, not Spanish.
I was worried I was gonna mahagoni myself.
I don't. I'm just gonna be direct. I don't get that reference.
Okay, so it's a dumb story, but we were playing Overwatch, and I was like, "What the heck is this guy's name, Mahagoni?" And my wife just looks at me, and both her and Osiris are like, "You mean mahogany, right?" And I
Yeah.
was just like, I just thought about my life choices that led me to that decision.
That's incredible.
It was like
Oh,
mahagoni.
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 Watch the adult words.
Oh, you go for it, man. Once a 24-hour stream.
Well,
it's
plus I condense them into a very small space when the children are asleep. So then they just kind of just spill out. So I'll police myself.
You're good. You're good. We're all adults here.
The fuck did you just say to me?
Fuck.
But you are the designer of a set that ran, just finished up, did exceptionally well, especially in the craziness that was October, and that was GMK Cafe.
I did. That was a thing that I guess I started. It did okay. I can't be mad about it. In no way can I be mad.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. Just over 1,000. Literally
Yeah,
just.
yeah. So the 1,000 mark was kind of important because I'll just go right at it right now. You may have seen it in chat a few times already, but there's talk of a bathtub lewd photo that needs to happen. And someone said, I believe Grin of Top Clack Mod fame said that, hey, if it does 1,000 kits, can we get a lewd photo of you in the bathtub with coffee? And I said, you know what? If it does 1,000 kits, I'll do whatever you want. Sign me up. So the fact that it sold 1,001. And I'm a man of my word. So I actually would have already done the picture, but I genuinely really, really messed up my back last weekend. So until about today, literally getting into a bathtub was physically impossible. So soon, TM, you'll get your picture, folks.
I'm really hoping it's you just like covered in coffee beans. Just
well, so I have
full of coffee beans.
I have a few ideas around it. It will involve cafe samples. So if I can hold them, right? Cafe color samples, covering up some naughty bits. That small, I know. And and I'll need cheesecloth, I think, and a lot of coffee. Just a lot. Like
nice.
I have to cold brew that.
Yeah, nice little cold brew.
Overnight cold brew in the bathtub.
Well, and that's my plan, right? I'm actually going to take a hot bath, but I'm going to say it's cold brew so that we can have an excuse for why the small ones work so well. So
there you go. And you can sell it. Easy money on the backside.
Someone said I should put it in a jar and sell.
Exactly.
It's a special cold brew.
You tried this coffee from Langelandia? It's great. It's got a nice sour
it's so
taste.
good. Yeah, it's got a real acrid kind of like vinegary taste.
Musty.
Weird.
You should get the picture like printed like old school and send 1,001 of them to GMK and have them put in every set.
No, so actually that
box art.
So the 1,001 poses a really big problem because, and I guess we can get into some of the topics that we may or may not talk about, but the fact that the set did so well, I started out with the idea of as long as whatever I make hits MOQ, I don't care about anything. Like I didn't matter. I wanted to see it on a board. I wanted to see it on someone else's board. So one of the things that I thought would be really fun was if you open the coffee colored or the coffee theme, just in general, and you smelled coffee, right? So I was like, how do you do that? Okay, well, you put coffee in the damn box. Okay, fine. So I'll commit to an ounce of coffee. That way it's just enough to make a small French press if you want, and then it smells nice as well. If you sell 1,001 kits, and those of you that are quick with a calculator right now, that's 1,001 ounces, assuming there's no duplicate orders, right? That's like 60 pounds of coffee. That's an insane amount of coffee. How am I going to do that? poor UPass. Like, sell that. He has to ship that out. The logistical problems alone are just a nightmare. And then if the expectation is that you get coffee, if he sells extras, does he have to have coffee for that? Probably. Like,
I mean,
Andrew.
So now my thought process is, I've heard the story before. Well, I guess we'll get into the questions here in a second. But before we get into that, I saw that when you were at Seattle, you were carrying around the little bags of coffee beans. Was that the prototype phase of the
no? So I had this thought, right? And I have to give some credit to Krellbit here, because the idea sparked me being kind of a shill. Okay, so at least from a t-shirt perspective. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna go to Sticker Mule or Donkey or whatever, and I'm gonna get stickers for cafe, and I'm gonna hand them out at Seattle. I'm going anyway. Like, hey, maybe consider buying cafe. It's coming up in a million months from July, and think about it. And I was like, well, I mean, while I was there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some coffee. There's a local place in Tacoma called Valhalla Coffee, and they make some pretty good stuff. They had a wonderful like Sumatra. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it in bags and I'm gonna give it out. And then prior to all that, Krellbit had done Handerbite, right? Or Handerbait, however I'm supposed to say it. And
don't ask
he
me.
made that t-shirt. He posted on his story. I saw it one night on Insta, and it was, how did this make MOQ? And he ordered that shirt and he wore it in Seattle. So I saw the shirt and I was like, I need to make a shirt that's like, please consider GMK Cafe. And I still have it, and I wear it as an undershirt for work, but it's because it's white, and it's just got my name Langelandia right over the front. So I was like, it'll be great. They can identify who I am. But then I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the stream. I see a clip from a stream, and I look like A, the most psychotic person I've ever met in my life, and B, I don't think I've looked fatter in my life. Like, the side profile of me in that like grungy kind of unisex t-shirt is just, oh God. Like the mind reels at the fact that I wore that. But then I get there and lazy takes over me, and talking to friends and keyboards take over, and there's a spot on the table. I brought no boards, and I was like, I just fucking dumped out my bag. I was like, here, take one. I don't care. And I just walked away. Take coffee. I don't care. Because I'm the worst human being ever. So the fact that anyone bought cafe is like a miracle. Like, look at this guy. So yes, Seattle, I did do that a little bit. So it was far past proto. The set went into IC, I think, in May, because I wanted to claim a month, because I knew, like, I saw the queue of interest checks that were coming up, and that was when Top Clack and all of the shows were having these huge conversations about how many sets can we do. There's so many interest checks. It was like right after the launch of keycap renders had been a thing, and I was like, I got to put a stamp on a month. Like, these vendors probably have something, into freaking 2020. So that's I was like, I got to go to IC right away. I had no vendors, nothing. I just had renders and an idea, and I actually had submitted the idea. This was a point of talking one day on Discord. I had submitted the idea to Dixie, which no one knew, because I just submitted it to him directly. I was like, hey man, I'm doing this set. I'm going to go to IC now. Just if you're interested, it'd be fun to run it through you, done. And he's obviously busy. So, it took more than 12 minutes for him to get back to me. So I sent the IC out, and UBOS sends me a message, and he's like, hey dude, I noticed you don't have vendors if you're really interested. So, which was fantastic. I didn't think anyone would want to touch the set. I was like, it's too close to black. How are we going to match that colors? I don't know. I'm neurotic, so everything's going to go wrong, right? So anyways, excuse me. I'm like, hey dude, I already submitted to Dixie. And he was like, whoa. I'm, my bad. Didn't mean to like reach out. And I was like, actually, Dixie's queue apparently is very long. If he's okay with it, you've got October. there doesn't seem to be anything in October. I'd like to run with you if that's possible, to do it sooner instead of pushing to 2020. And Dixie was cool with it. He was like, hey, thanks for being up front. I told him why. And then, we were off to the races with UPass and Cannon Keys. So there's kind of a whole like snowball-y kind of effect. So long walk, very short horse. The coffee beans in Seattle were not a prototype thing. It was me thinking it would be some kind of clever marketing, and then I think 8 people took coffee. So it worked really well.
Well, before we get into the rest of the questions, we have a tradition around here where we do what we call the Fast Four.
Okay.
Top 4 of 4 different things. 3 about keyboards, 1 that's not. So the first one.
So now I'm nervous because I'm a preparer. I asked for questions to prepare, so
they're on there.
They are? Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't label them as the Fast 4.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so I have to distill it down to top 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So
I'm absolutely gonna break the rules. Just letting you know right away.
You're not the first. You won't be the last.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm gonna break it.
The first one will be your top 4 favorite switches.
So I'm what I personally describe as a linear queen. It's my jam. Unless we're talking about Alps, and I do still very much love linear Alps. So let's be clear on that. I have a Pingmaster on the floor right next to me with the tall SKCC greens that I think is great. And that was new old stock, so they're exceptional. But right now, if I absolutely had to pick, it's probably, I'm really feeling the inks in my acrylic Alice. I like that a lot. Vint Blacks, super good. And then a weird switch that I would argue is so mildly tactile, it's close to an MX Brown. But if you take the tactile leaf out of an SKCL Alps, like a black, it becomes a linear. And that style of switch, like really cleaned and a very light coating of a lube, that's a really fantastic switch, in my opinion. The soundtrack is just next level. It's hard to beat. So I would say those 4 right now. Those 4. But it's something that's important. I've got some blacks that are going to go into my nightmare whenever it shows up, which I'm dying to get. And those I put in the 98 gram Novel Keys springs. Like I want a heavy weight. Like I cannot do light. I have to beat the crap out of my board to be happy.
My language.
I really do have to beat the crap out of it to just be happy at all.
100 gram Novel Keys cream switches, and they are amazing.
Yeah, boom, right there. Did I see 9s?
Yeah,
little 9s on that?
Yeah, let me.
Nice, solid.
Built this.
Oof. If we're gonna shill some 9s.
Yeah, dude, let's shill 9s like hard right
serious now. 9s, literally serious 9s.
Serious 9s.
Very good.
So
good. I don't have 9s. I have a giant Model F right now, so it's a bit loud, and also quite heavy. This is let's say 3 inches.
Wow.
This is the thud.
I don't want to drop this because
just a thud. No. Don't drop your Alice. This is a Model F that I got for free.
It is not an Alice, to be fair.
Okay, we're to be fair.
It's the
Japanese Horror Rider. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. This is the OSA. I don't know if that's
okay.
That's the 12 out of 20 OSA.
Nice.
By Blind Assassin. By the way, quick shill, GMK 9s. You can win a free set of GMK 9s at our 24-hour stream.
November 23rd.
GMK
9. Dot.
Did I hear November 23rd?
November 23rd, and not like a spot in the round, not in the spot, like ready to ship.
Oh,
yeah,
hey, there we go. So ready to ship.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of heavy springs.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like every single thing in this entire hobby is about preference, right?
Yep.
There are some objectively good things and there's some objectively bad things, but for me, the argument about I want some drama in a switch, or I can't just have this almost uneventful situation. I beat on my keyboards so aggressively because I push so much tension into my hands that the tactile event for me is the massively intense bottom out. So like I have to beat the crap out of it. And weirdly, even though I feel like that would fatigue me if it, on a steel plate or aluminum or even, a not top mount, but integrated plate, it just doesn't. Like a hard, firm bottom out is just as wonderful to me as like a soft, cushiony landing. So I just don't care because I'm going to beat the crap out of it no matter what you give me. So I understand the desire for a tactile. I understand the desire for a clicky. I have Space Invaders clickies that I love to use frequently, but
Old school.
linears is the jam for me.
I dig it. So, we'll move on. Your top 4 favorite boards. They do not have to be boards you have built. They can be ones that you like, that you want, but
Okay, so right now, because it's super front space, I have an Iron 165 FE edition on the way whenever that comes.
nice.
Probably
Fancy.
most excited and favorite board about that right now. I mean, I may or may not have had to sell parts of my children to buy it. It's not a cheap board. I'm not going to lie to you. But boy, howdy, am I excited to get it. And I like it a lot. The Kepler forged carbon is just, some of those pictures that he sent now are too much. I think Alice is a concept, right? Like I have an acrylic Alice that I really like. I love that layout. That style is very good. Obviously, it's very popular. So maybe that's kind of a cop-out answer. And then weirdly, these kind of vintage boards, I'm just going to categorize them all into one. Oh, before I get into vintage, TMO 50, without question, I love that layout. I have a problem with missing columns. I love 40s. I love the idea of a smaller board. They're great. My first board I ever built was what the hell was the name of it? It was the plank cheap version. Didn't Heine do it? It was a 4x8 or a 4x12.
No idea. Sorry.
It's a
Don't know a lot
segment of
about
the
that.
Someone in
community
chat
that
help me.
I
Someone in
haven't
chat help
paid
me.
attention to.
It was it had all the memes on it, and it was an Ortho 48 key. Anyways, but I'm always missing that column on the right for whether that's a quote or forward slash or whatever. The contra. Thank you, God. Oh, that was
Junior
gonna kill me.
SVT.
Yes, that was going to kill me. Thank you. So that was the first custom I ever built. So TMO is huge, and then the concept of a vintage board, right? Like capacitive buckling springs, Model F, Model M, those are great. I weirdly really like my Pingmaster, also because I can use it to kind of annoy my wife when I'm feeling contentious. So because a complete accident, I got the board and I bought a Pro Micro for it, and I was going to convert it, and so I followed a guide online or whatever, and then the beeper works, the speaker works. So whenever I want to be a total jerk and annoy her, or I brought it into work for our April Fool's Day, I turn it all the way up, and it's just so great. It's so good. It's so loud. I love it. So more than 4 boards, but whatever. That's what I'm feeling right now.
It's all good. It's all good. I think you're like the 3rd or 4th person that said the TMO 50. That's a real popular.
Yeah,
selection.
For me, I don't need F keys ever. I don't use them. I don't think about them. They're personally pretty useless to me. And I know there's some games that use them, whatever. And then numero, I'm not putting numbers into a spreadsheet ever for my day. Like most of the time I'm writing copy for training or answering emails or what have you. So I don't really need a numero either. But I don't want to lose the functionality of punctuation because I am quite the pedant. So I very much care about capitalization and punctuation and using a semicolon appropriately and all these kinds of things. So I need the punctuation in order to function as me. So the TMO really does it for me because I've got some extra keys for page up, page down, home, and then I've got all of my punctuation. So I don't know. It's
a nice
middle
ground.
A solid design. Yeah, very much.
So
that's why I'm super excited about the Nightmare because I've never owned a TMO, but I get the Nightmare. I basically have a TMO for not $2,000, which is pretty sweet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Easy.
So the last keyboard-based question for the Fast Four: your top 4 favorite keycap sets, and you can't say cafe.
So I broke this into 2 categories. Okay, so sets that currently exist, like physically are made in the real world, and I put 2 into spot 1 for me because I opine over them now. I must have them. So one is Shoko, absolutely, and to share that spot with it is Olivia. So I always wanted those sets. I saw them. Olivia was always this kind of like unattainable thing. And then I went to my first meetup where they both were, and shout out to OtterQuest because they were both on her boards. And my God, like those on screen versus seeing them in real life, it was like an epiphany. I must have. I must own. I must purchase. They go on all the things. So I'd say those 2 take top 1 for sets that exist. The first ever set I bought, as far as custom keycaps outside of some trash, I believe was Nautilus. So it's got like a special place for me. And then Violet on Cream, SA or GMK is beautiful, right? GMK doesn't technically exist yet, so whatever.
How dare
DMG
you?
is so good.
How dare you
Metaverse,
break your
Tarot,
own?
and a dark horse that I think is a very, very strong set that I want to see done well or again, which I think blue will do it. But Olivetti, really like that subtle kind of blue touch to it. I think it's a strong set. Things that don't yet exist that I'm really jazzing and put high on the list. Bingsu, huge. Ashes, great. 8008. And I just want to throw a shout out here to the runner of Sixes for winner of this year's best name for a child kit. So he recently did an update to the IC. I don't know if you saw it, but he's added in basically a Fortis support kit that is for 9s, and he named it Emir's Lost Keys, and Emir's Lost Keys, and it's the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. It's so clever. I love it. They should win a prize for that. Like, so good. So good. So good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the IC, and I'm
so
just
funny.
like, yeah, that's awesome. Here's Lost Keys.
And this is a huge part about who I am. It's just I love when you focus on details and you go in and you dig deep in a theme and you really lose yourself, and it's meta and it's all of the things. Like, so that right there is just perfect. I love it.
I love the explanation underneath it too that he put in there about the keys.
Oh God, how could I forget the set that I'm most jazzed for right now? And sorry, everyone that I've already mentioned. Absolutely, Yugo. Holy crap, do I love that set? It's so cute. It's so loved. And again, as I just mentioned, super about going all in on a theme. Perfect. Love it. Buying all of it. Can't wait to have it.
It's a cool
I don't get
set.
paid by any of these people, for the record.
It's a cool set based on probably the worst car ever made.
It's as far as I know, the only car in existence to ever be blown off a bridge. Just blown off a bridge.
The only time you'll be in a full-fledged car and be beat in a race by a Vespa.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Your 86-year-old grandpa is going for a jog. Well, you just lost that race. Like,
Oh man.
And yes, for whoever's pointing it out in the background. Oh, it's UPass. Yes, that's Bebop. That's a present for my brother-in-law. Excuse me, brother, whatever.
Close enough.
Yeah, same thing. So what's next? What's the last
my
of the Fast Four?
I was looking at the 9s thing.
No, it's okay. I'm what's known in life as a time burglar. I will steal your time.
It's all good, man.
So quickly, you won't even notice.
I'll use the excuse. I'm still fighting. I'm just on cold medicine, so I'm just trying to get good for NorCal.
You guys should have seen him before the stream. Like just sucking it down. Mo Tussin, right?
That's
the jam.
Purple drank, dude. No, so top 4 favorite foods.
So number 1 is meat an answer? Does that count?
Sure.
Meat.
It's food.
Can you classify an animal?
No, so here's where I struggle because I grew up on the farm and one of our main things was beef cattle. So beef all day, every day, super fresh, wonderful. Oh, we need more beef? Go kill a cow, kind of a thing, right? So it's very callous, but it's the truth. And there is a restaurant here, and I'm in Minneapolis again, doxed, but there's a restaurant here that does farm to table meat, and they butcher it themselves. They make their own sausage. They do everything, and it's next level, otherworldly. It's transformative to go there and to have everything done fresh, correctly, perfectly.
What's the name of the place?
It's called Butcher and the Boar. If you're ever in Minneapolis, please.
I've definitely heard of that place.
Please go. Do yourself a favor. And if you're a vegan, I'm sorry, but you should go and at least eat their Brussels sprouts, because you will not. I stand by this. You will not find better Brussels sprouts on planet Earth. You won't. Saying it now. Anyways, so food number 1, meat. Does beer count?
Beer?
Is beer food? I mean, it has a caloric content.
Yeah, you consume it. It fills you up.
Beer. Let's put beer on the list. I only wrote 1 because the answer was, "What's your favorite food?" So now I'm on the fly. This is tough. Fast foods. This is good. I'm going to put an umbrella over the whole of all variants of Indian food. Really like spice and also heat. So I split those out because you don't necessarily have to have a heat-filled food to be very spicy. So let's call that out. I love both very much. And then for 4, I'm going to say soup as a whole. With the exception of cold soups, I'm not a borscht or spatch fan, right? Like, shots of spatch aren't my jam at a fancy party. But soup as a whole, like now that it's colder, yes, enjoy the B99 reference. You're welcome. But like soup, especially now that it's cold, like in summer, mid-July, it's 100 degrees with 80% humidity outside. And I want a tomato soup for some reason. Like I don't care. I like it. It's so wonderful. So yeah, those are the 4 I'm going to say.
Dude, soup comes out and get you. It's like soup is one of those ones that like you're always like, man, I'm not feeling soup. And then one day you're just like, man, soup sounds great. And then the next 2 weeks you just eat soup for like 3 or 5 times a week.
Yeah, it's like if you make a roast. I also like a roast, like a good roast. Basically, comfort Midwest foods are very, very big for me too. So not, and I say this to anyone who's stereotyping, not tater tot hot dish or casserole. That's what we call garbage. That's terrible. It's the worst. Okay. But a roast, that's something yummy. There's just something about like the warmth associated with it. Like I don't know. There's something cozy about being warmed from your belly that I don't know. It's like, maybe I'm after it because it's a happy feeling. I don't know.
There's something special about dipping a nice grilled cheese into a nice tomato basil soup. If you put some bacon in there, in that grilled cheese, take it up to the next level.
I literally for lunch today had tomato basil soup with grilled cheese. I'm not even kidding.
The girl that sits behind me at work is she's pregnant right now, and that's like for whatever reason the thing she's been craving. So I've gone and walked next door to the deli like 3 or 4 times.
How nice of you. That's good. Good.
That's
dote on her.
Eaten, so
yeah, my wife's only craving through 2 pregnancies was gummy bears. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I've been asked to do this, but brass.
Oh, Urban. Hi, baby.
Okay. There you
How
go,
you
Urban.
doing? Oh, brass.
Anyway.
Brass.
So I do find it funny that someone said no one said anything about you never said anything about coffee in your top 4.
No,
Guys,
so
famous
but so here's the problem. Here's the problem with it, right? The reason that beer gets on the list is because if I get a solid triple IPA like this, we're talking 500, 600, 700 calories based on the size of the glass or can. Okay. This entire French press is like
a bean
5
water.
calories. max. So it doesn't count on the food list.
What about coffee cake?
Well,
That doesn't even have coffee in it.
why do we have? Why we're talking about favorite foods? We're not talking about trash. Okay,
Oh,
we don't need to talk about bad
I feel
tasting things
attacked.
or cardboard like flavors or textures. We're having a conversation about good food, right? Like
Oh,
things that we like.
spitting
That's
fire.
like saying, "Oh man, you like that fruitcake you got for Christmas? Yum." No, get out of here with that. No, ain't nobody got any time for that. No.
Oh
I
man.
feel personally attacked.
Sorry, I'm fiery.
Oh, dude, it's all
Fiery
good, man.
tonight.
All right, man. So let's get into it. GMK Cafe, the worst set that I've ever seen. No,
I can't believe anybody fucking bought it. Holy shit. Seriously,
I was more interested in GMK tea or GMK water or pretty much anything that's not coffee, but you went ahead and made coffee. So tell me, what were you thinking?
So I have this very specific like crystallizing moment where so what it all started because of the Think 6.5, that keyboard, right? I wasn't really a big Discord user. I wasn't super connected with anyone in the community. I was kind of on the periphery for a long time, chatting here and there. And then I got roped into this kind of Discord with Old Cat and the constant updates and this huge community of people. And we all kind of started forming this friendship, specifically me with the mods and Urban shouting, yelling at the mods all day. We were the anti-mods or anit mods because we misspelled it the first time, so it was anit mod. But anyways, and I have this moment where it's, with all these people, I bet that one of us could do a set. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it, I'll try. Whatever, I'll try. And I was like, what in my life? And I remember getting an email from Signature Plastics about DSA Coffee House. And I was like, I mean, that's okay. Like, not to talk shit about it, right? But it wasn't my thing. I'm not huge into brown, like a traditional kind of chocolate colored brown. That's not like a color that I wear. It's not a piece of decor that I use. It just was never on my radar. And so I was having a French press one day, and I was just kind of looking at it. I'm like, this is pretty damn dark. Like, Coffee House is nowhere near this. And I do want to give a quick shout out because there was a really, really good set that didn't quite make it because it could have used some tweaking at the time. There was that Oasis. It was GMK Oasis.
And I was thinking it was going to be that.
The base kit had the blue, right? But then you could buy the dark kind of coffee mods to go with it. And I really think, I don't think Cafe is a thing if it's flipped, right? Where you can purchase the blue mods as a secondary. Unfortunately, that group I had to get canceled. It wasn't in the GMK rush of the year. And I think it was far closer. But even that, it was much darker. It wasn't quite dark enough for me, personally. Just sitting there looking at my French press in my kitchen. So the number of browns that I went through.
I bet.
Especially from the RALs, right? Like, and I'm looking at them on the screen and I'm sending them to my friends, the same group of people from the Think group buy, we have Vox Key now, Smith and Rune, and we've got Spade, and we've got all these people. And so, hi, buddy. I thought you were asleep. Hi, we have a guest. Hey, buddy. I need you to go upstairs and go late. Okay? Thank you. Close the door, please.
Little guest appearance.
Anyways, so yeah, a little guest appearance. That's Harrison. Hi, Harrison. So, anyways, we go through all these browns, and I send the RAL. It's I have it right here. It's 8019, and in a render, and they're like, "That's it. That's the one. That move forward with that." So then it just kind of snowballed into this thing. Massive props to everyone that helped. So we have Jan Glad. Clavier, I think, is now his official screen name, and then Abec did a ton of renders, and one creative mind did some wonderful, cute little mock-ups, and that desk mat, so perfect. So that's kind of where it all started. And, I put together, I was just watching Top Clack where they were like, you know what? Don't give me this half theme. Give me this fully thought out kind of thing. So I was like, screw it. I'm going in deep. I'm going to tell them about the origin of coffee, and I'm going to give them these, and I'm going to name the kits. And I was like, extra shots and special blends and sugar kit. Like, fuck you. So like, it was a good point they made, but I was like, yeah, and that too, and a little bit of this. And then some crazy people decided to buy the set, and
1001.
I it's you ever hear those people talk about how I worked for everything I had? Man, I don't disagree with that, okay? And I'm not saying I didn't work hard at a lot of stuff, but boy howdy did I get real lucky with a lot of really good people and timing. I like, if I don't drop the IC in May, I don't have a cafe group buy until maybe December. And in October, you're going against Dracula that sells naturally without extras 2,000 kits. And if you go in December, you're going against Olivia, literally the most popular set ever made. So which is more fun to go against? I don't know. But at the time, I didn't know any of that. I was like, oh, here's a fucking keycap. Here's a key set. Let's see if it works. So I don't know. That was kind of how it started, and massive support from a lot of people really, really made it happen. So
Absolutely.
that's how we are now today.
I'm still blown away by the community being able to support all these different group buys. Just consistency of it too. And the amounts. Like, it's not like, yes, there are some that aren't hitting as high as others, but man, the fact that we've got one selling 2,000 kits, another selling 1,000 base kits, plus I haven't even really looked into some
it was
of the other
one
ones.
of 14 sets. Like, those two represent a tiny percentage of what was available in October. And there are some very good sets that a lot of people had to miss. Like Phosphorus. That set is awesome. I couldn't buy it. Like, I don't have enough money to buy that set right now. Like, and that sucks. So, I mean, it's a good problem to have that there's so many wonderful things to choose from. You can't buy it all. But it's very different from, there's 2 group buys this year, either you're in or you're out and you're done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is kind of funny waiting. It's like, all right, what's this month's GMK group? But I don't like it.
Yeah.
Guess I'll just keep saving.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
get to skip wasting, or not wasting, but I get to skip, hurting my wallet this month.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because it's like things are announced further and further out. So you're like, oh, I know that in December I'm going to get this set. And then like 9 other sets get announced for December. And you're like, what am I going to get now? What am I going to do?
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted to release in May, like as soon as I could, because as I mentioned, 4 sets was terrifying. Like, how am I going to compete with 3 other sets? It'll never sell. And so I wanted to like put this intellectual stamp on a month if I could, and just immediately announce when it was and how much it was as soon as possible. Like, that was my strategy. And the diametrically opposed strategy, which obviously works, is very close to October. I think it was middle of September. Dixie announced that Dracula was happening in October. We kind of suspected it. How do you not run a set named Dracula in October, right?
Yeah.
But no one knew for sure. Like, maybe you drop it on Halloween. Is this something that runs in November? Whatever it is. And we don't know the price until the day of. Like, and that works. That's fine. That's a good marketing technique. It's like that anticipation. It's Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. What do I get? What do I open under the tree? But that was my thought was, God, I gotta say it's October. I'm the first. I was the first to set October. Nobody can go in October. And there's and there's 15 fucking sets. Like, they don't give a crap. They don't care. They're gonna run. I promise in May when I was there, because I know Dixie did, but I promise everyone else already had plans at least until October. Like, they knew it was happening. They knew it was coming.
I mean,
and they already stamped it.
I think I remember people saying drop had been planned out for the entire year by early April. or March.
Yep.
March or early April. Same thing with, I think Dixie was pretty much almost fully planned out, and Mike was pretty fully planned out.
I mean, they're already in like August, September of next year.
Yeah, it's just
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Well, and I guess a good thing from this, and maybe not necessarily good for, your Mikes, your UPass, your Dixies of the world, is, at a certain point, there's either A, a bubble, and we can't support that many sets anymore, or B, we can continue to, for some crazy reason, and now you've got more vendors that are carrying sets. Next month alone, Minterly, right, of Bliss, she's carrying a set next month, like, which good for her and good for competition, but like, that's what's going to happen. We just need more storefronts. If we're going to continue to support 14, 15, 20 sets every month, there needs to be more places to buy it,
Well, and I see the question is, can GMK support these additional sets? The thing is they actually can. It's been great for them. They've been able to purchase new machines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They purchased another machine, which, what did Andrew say? Something, or Andy, I think he prefers Andy, not Andrew. But didn't that up their capacity like 25%? Like, I mean, they're going to be able to produce even more. Maybe Cafe comes sooner. Could you imagine?
Slower.
Let's be real. All right, come on.
It's not coming sooner.
M0110 still needs to ship. All right, come on.
Fine.
We're still dealing with Hyperfuse round 1, okay?
Well, I guess that's your problem.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's another thing though, like with this consistency and this continued, like, I guess raising of the stakes, like the processes behind everything have gotten so much more honed in and focused that you don't have a Hyperfuse round 1, right? Like, it takes 3 fucking years to make this thing happen. It's all right. From group buy beginning to the time it ships, it's 6 months and we're done. Screw it. Like, that's good for the community. So I guess I can't, and I'm not upset about all the sets. It's just, it's so interesting because, 2 years ago when I was brand new, or 2.5 years ago when I was brand new in this whole thing, it was like, oh, that one set that ran that one time looks good. And, you've got 10 to pick from that happened in the last 2 years. You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, even around this time last year was when we were starting to get into maybe 2. Like, we were seeing overlaps of sets. And it's just crazy to see, because we talked about this in our episode that came out yesterday, where it's like in April we were surprised at the fact that we had 7, 8 sets that ran, and now
like when Mizu was running, it's like, how does anything go against me?
Yeah, and now we've got 2 months in a row, and I'm assuming more will go into December, where there's 15 plus. I mean, I think if you total everything, it's almost 20 this month. That'll be running at least one day in November. I think it's like a total of 20.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Literally, in this month and last month, there will be more sets run than all of last year. There'll be more sets run. Yeah, probably all of last year in these 2 months.
What an explosion of a population. Like, I mean, again, good, right? But
we need more boards.
Very challenging. Yeah, that's the interesting thing is, and that's the thing about a key set. So again, my comment about I've worked hard for everything I had, I just got lucky. The people that design and deliver a board, like actually deliver it. Obviously, there's some boards that have been out for 3 years and people don't have yet. But when the board is designed and it goes to the manufacturer and it comes and it's good, the difficulty and the risk, it is so much, it's exponentially more difficult than if you as a vendor were to just do a key set all on your own. Like, and I know that there's still obviously financial risk associated with it, but man, the numbers are just ratcheted up so much, potential loss and risk. And I mean, and the knowledge that you have to design that board. Like, I mean, if you really want to dumb it down, I pick some fucking colors. Like, let's move on. These people, they have to think about tolerances and negative space and all of these things. And that's above my pay grade, man. I'm happy to slap some colors together and call it good. If you want to buy it, cool. But
that's why I paid someone else to help me.
Those guys that design boards, and gals, let's be very specific, guys and gals that design boards.
Props.
Nope. Matt,
That's why I
respect.
paid someone
Not
else to
backing up.
do it, man. I
I'm not.
told, I
No,
was,
maybe
I,
someday, but not right now.
I helped design a board. I co-designed a board recently. And I was like, I'd thought about it for a long time, and then finally this opportunity came across my feet, my hands, whatever the saying is. I don't. And
Came across
I
my
was
desk.
like, hey, here's some drawings, some terrible drawings and stuff. Can we make this a thing? And it's in production right now, so I'm really
Hey,
excited.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get
So because I think we need the like GMK, the keycaps, not just GMK, because SP and then now we're seeing with EPBT and CAP, we're getting to a point where it's like such a well-oiled machine. We really need that in boards too, of like the uncapped group buys that can go huge, that are at a reasonable price point, that will get
Well, and
made
there's
and
like
not be.
there's like a weird middle ground that needs to exist because, you know, there seems to be, and correct me here if I'm wrong, I usually talk right out of my ass, but there seems to be a preponderance that is in the budget market, right? Like you've got some great people out there, you've got your KBOs and you know your KBD fans where you can enter into a fully custom board. And let's not forget things like Practice 60 and all that kind of stuff, but you can enter into a custom board for less than $100. Easy if you want, right? Slap some caps on it, call it a good day. This is a custom. And then you've got your Keplers of the world, which is a beautiful, lovely board. But I mean, it's $850. The Iron FE, that's you know almost a $900 board. These are expensive. Where do we live in the middle? You know, there's a lot of 400s I've seen. You know, there's a lot of 500s, but how frequently or consistently can we hit, you know, a 250 range or even 200? And I think as that, to your point, as it becomes more of a well-oiled machine, that's really the sweet spot that I think will allow the community to grow, right? Because
I mean, look at the Polaris. The Polaris is like the prime example of that.
It's
Of that
Polaris
$300
is great.
range.
Even Sirius, like stellar board for the cost, right? And so that's why I love all this competition. It brings in new materials. It brings in, you know, maybe it's just a 60, but you know that's an awesome price point on a new material that sounds and feels great.
225, like
who doesn't want that?
It's insane.
Yeah, you can't beat it. So, anyways, I could talk all night, so I'll stop on that.
But let's segue back to Cafe. So, how did you go about selecting the kits, and then in turn also the creative themed names as well? I kind of want to hear the little thoughts about that.
So again, shout out to OCM, One Creative Mind, Austin. You know, I approached him and I heard he'd done some designs, and I was like, "Hey man, I need some creative help. I cannot draw, and I don't have vector software anymore that I can really use to a level that needs it." So he really helped a lot with there and good input on kind of how I thematically maybe approach this, and obviously feedback from my friends again. So, but as far as the kitting, you know, I had a few things when I went into Cafe. There was a few like non-starters that I absolutely wanted to make sure that I met. And, you know, one of them was I want novelties in the base kit. No questions, because I dislike a $130 base kit that has these fantastic novelties that cost you 50 more bucks. Like now I'm in for $180 and I can't even put it on my special 40 or my slightly off 60 or whatever it is, okay, because it doesn't carry the support in the base. So novelties in the base kit, no more than 125. And I said that number kind of arbitrarily in the beginning, and I was like, see if we can hit it, and that sure as hell that's what it cost. And to be candid, that was foregoing a lot, in fact, all the money early on for me, which I was fine with, because I wanted to, the main goal out of all that was I wanted to have Cafe on a board that I owned. And I wanted to see other people share pictures on Discord or RMK that had Cafe on a board or had a set I designed, was the initial kind of idea. All I want to do is I want to see people enjoy it so that I can hang my hat and said I gave back to the community, because so many people have put in time and designed boards and have lost money and basically worked a second job to give me this weird hobby thing that we have. So I had these kind of altruistic, high-minded ideals in motion when I started with it. So with the kits, I wanted to be as inclusive as I could. So I knew that with the base kit price goal, I was going to have to split some stuff off. So I was like, okay, numpad's going to have to go off. Now, do I isolate numpad and potentially leave it out there to die a slow death if nobody buys the set and it doesn't hit MOQ, and put ISO in the base? Or can I maybe help the communities help each other out? And drop is a bad metric for ISO support or just European support in general, because it's very US centric. So, we sold 3,000 Oblivion kits and only 120 of them, bought ISO. Okay, well, that's all fine and dandy, but 2,800 of those 3,000 are freaking US people. Nobody gives a crap about ISO in US. So, but people do care about numpad. So I was like, okay, can we run the numpad kit at no profit and substitute in the ISO keys as a result? So that was where we went for that. And then when I first started Cafe, actually, it was when GMK Pulse, Mito or Mito, I don't know how I'm supposed to say it, had put out a teaser that showed a picture of Arabic sublegends. And I was like, ooh, okay. If they're getting double shot molds for Arabic sublegends, coffee, this makes perfect sense. So I made the black kit with the intention of having Arabic sublegends in the beginning. And then GMK very directly told me, before I had engaged UPass and knew that he was working through a rep, I had sent an email off. I was like, hey, what about those molds? Are those going to be available? And they were like, we don't know if they're going to be available because they hadn't been made yet, because the set hadn't hit MOQ. So they were like, okay. So that's where the genesis of the black kit came. So I was like, okay, you know what? We'll try it. We'll see if people want dark alphas. We'll call it a day. We'll figure it out. And then as far as the Spacebar's kit, I mean, who doesn't love a Spacebar's kit, right? Especially with the emergence of how great Alice has been. But then like, to your point about the community, like the feedback of, just directly saying, okay, I'm okay with you putting ISO and numpad to make sure that they make MOQ. Some people didn't like that, but the majority were very happy to see that, okay, so the base kit's low price. It doesn't cost me that much extra to add this in. And then when I put them together, basically it's like an originative kit that's $5 off, because, an OCO set is, like 180 and it's got good compatibility in ISO and numpad, and those two together would be like 175. So, okay, great. We're kind of okay with that. And then actually shout out to Heine, because I had this thought. I was like, oh, nobody wants, originally the mod colored space bars were in the base kit. And we had to move some keys out of it or kind of sacrifice a few keys as a result. And I had this idea of, let's move the mod colored space bars into the Dark Alpha kit. That makes sense. But then it was like, oh, no, screw it. We're going to leave it. And then Heine brought it up again. And so UPass and I were talking, and we kind of made that decision to move, 1800 support for dark version and also those mod space bars, or not 1800 support for dark version, but dark something, I forget. And then the mod colored space bar into that dark kit as a result. And it only increased the price of that kit $1 for the consumer, which was really nice. But then also didn't, we were able to put things back into the base because of that. So shout out to him for that. Yeah, that's kind of how I approached all the kitting. I knew I did not want a separate novelties kit, but I did want something cute, like a coffee bean or maybe a Chemex, which, for the record, when you're looking at like a Chemex or a mocha pot novelty, it doesn't really look like anything.
No.
So when you put it on the key,
triangle.
like the side profile did not work. It's just like this kind of hourglass shape.
Yeah.
So it didn't quite translate well. So that's where we focused more on the coffee cup idea. So
I will say,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, one thing that I saw that was really cool is what you did with the ability to purchase base plus black kit and basically get 2 full boards out of it.
Yeah. So again, I basically have nothing for you tonight that was actually me originally, so let's just be clear on that. But that came to me from UPass by way of Young Walker, who in the Rudy thread, another user who I do not know the name of, so I'm sorry, anonymous user, but they had commented on how, look at all of these keys that you have if you buy Pixel. The only key you don't have, and maybe you've got some incorrect legends, right? So, but correct profile and correct width, if you add a duplicate tab key in, you cover 2 boards. It's not going to be 2 full-size boards, but you've got, a 65% and a TKL if you swap a normal ANSI bottom and a Sengan bottom, right? So I was like, God damn, let's do that. Like, let's put some value in there if we can. And sure as hell, it works out. You're not going to be able to split right shift on both boards, and there's some other weirdness, but as far as value goes, if you can get 2 full boards covered in GMK for, $180 or 190 or whatever it is, that's some pretty solid value. So I'm glad you brought it up because I absolutely forgot that we did that. Just to be totally, but I was really excited about that when that came to me. So, and I know that Rudy is doing the same thing, and I think they're running in December on Canon keys. So, I'm actually really excited to see a lot of sets that are doing a Dark Alphas kit now, because it's kind of that. I just like the ability to have one set and then change it. I really, really like this color, but I'm bored of it. So let's alter it out. So, and I think Olivia has a dark kit too when that runs. So, anyways, and then you specific question. Oh, the names of the kits. So, the only thing I knew from the beginning was when I was going to put these, and at the time it was potentially problematic. So I'm going to be direct about this. The black kit was going to have Arabic sublegends. And I was like, oh, you could call the Dark Alphas, like it's black coffee. So I'll just call it black. I was like, we're talking about a part of the world where people aren't white, and I'm calling a kit black. Maybe this is questionable. I was like, okay, so if we're going to make this happen,
let's make the PC choice.
Well, not only that, but like, again, focusing on inclusion, I would very much loathe anyone to look at that and go, whoa, like that's not, I don't want that. I don't want anyone to feel that. So I thought to myself, how can I make it so that any outside person looking at this understands that it's a theme as opposed to just this kit's black. So I was like, well, the base kit's it's like coffee with cream, right? So that's with cream. And then I assumed that 40s were a special. This is Elijah. Hi, say hi. Let's put down our shirt. You need to go lay down. Your foot hurt. Okay. Well, can I kiss it and then you go lay down? Oh, buddy. It's okay. You stay right with me. Okay. So anyways, so, my 40s friends, everything in there is like, it's kind of like min-maxing, right? So you've got these super special, both columns of punctuation are missing. And now we're doing win keyless type stuff. And I've got this macro column, all these special things. I was like, all of this is like, if someone really geeked out about how long you roasted and where your coffee came from and what the blends were, like, so that's special for me. And then extra shots made sense for me there. And then sugar, because and actually this is a shout out to Esky. I already said hi to him, but most of my EU friends are so sweet. I was like, well, let's call it the sugar kit. Like, and not to hate on my numpad friends, Capsy is a big numpad guy and he's a good friend of mine. So not to ignore them, but that's kind of where that thought came from for all of those. You want to say hi? You want to wave? You're right there. See? Hey, can you do me a super huge favor? Can you do me a big favor?
Wholesome dad moments right now.
Okay, I'll kiss it and then you go give mom lots of hugs, okay? Oh no. Okay, you're just gonna basically hang out with me for the rest. That's okay.
That's fine.
This is a special show. We've got 2 guests today.
Yeah.
Boom.
This is Elijah. Say hi.
Two for the price of one.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Do you want to wear my hat? No? Okay. All right. So let's
Just don't give him the headphones and we're good.
I know. I think I answered the question about
did.
kidding
You did.
in the world's longest rambling answer.
Hey, we like talkers here.
Well, you got one. Shocker.
So this is a common question we like to ask. How many sets of cafe do you
I bought 4 of everything. Everything that anyone could spend money on, I bought 4 of. So I've got one set.
Are you leaving one in the box?
I don't know. I guess I hadn't decided on that yet. I originally was going to get 2 of everything, and then it actually sold well. So then I got 4 of everything. And so one set will be used and will live in bags because I love you, GMK, but your trays are trash. So that will be one set. And then maybe I'll put it in my JTK trays wherever they are. I've got like 8 of those. So that'll be one set. And then the second of everything, that's Christmas for brother because he really wanted to support, but he didn't have money. So I ordered one for him for everything to give to him. A third one, I think I'll use as a trade. I think for a set that I couldn't buy into or another designer I know like. So, maybe I don't know what that is or to be determined. And then set 4 is kind of question mark. I don't know if it stays unopened. I do know that the banderole from the set that I use, I will frame. Like that front image of Cafe on the GMK banderole absolutely will go on a frame. It'll go on the wall. Like this is kind of a monumental thing in my life.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna do it. And Elijah's playing with the Pingmaster now. He's very excited. It's unplugged, so it won't make noise, but we're pushing a lot of keys right now. So we're good.
Hey,
starting them young.
Get him started as early as possible.
Only 2 hours past his bedtime.
So great, right?
Yeah.
He was excited about the show, man. He subscribes and he comments. He's part of our Discord.
He's kind of a meme troll, though. Like, we gotta watch him. You gotta watch him. He's trouble.
We've banned him twice, but we just keep letting him back in.
Well, he just keeps remaking his name. You know
exactly. You never know which one he is.
Anyways,
and then
I hope you guys enjoy the surprise guest because I can go without making him cry. Good. So, good times.
And then another common one is, what do you have a board specifically in mind that you want to put Cafe on?
Aggressively iron 165 because I got the white.
The white one. Yep,
I did. I got the white.
That'll look so clean.
Also, if I can get that white Chimera, pretty stoked about that because that render that Abec did for me in that, I kind of had a little backstory. So the Think Group I bought an all brass rose gold version, and I ended up canceling. Right, so I got all that money back and I rolled it into FE. So the rose gold Think that I have renders for in the Cafe thread, I did because it was going to be my board. I wanted to see what it looked like. So let's call it. I've got a little narcissism going on. And then UPass was like, "Hey, buddy, there's this secret color of Chimera, maybe, and it's white." Like, well, I'd like one of those if I can, or if I win it. So here's my dream. So hey, Abec, can you render that on white? And so he did, and I wanted that. So unfortunately, certain people at Smith & Rune did not request a white FE with Cafe, as far as I know. So I don't know what that looks like until I get it. Jerks. But anyways, I'm really excited about those 2 boards. And then anything polycarb or like that kind of frosted plastic look, super excited about that. Like, I think that will look really fantastic. Very much.
And then if down the line someone decides to make a board out of like some sort of ceramic, then you've got your coffee cup for your GMK Cafe.
Yep. Ooh, there is for anyone that was lucky enough or has a whiteboard that they want to have a copper accent. There's a tumbler that Jay from Top Clack linked me that is white with a copper bottom. That is really, really, really good. You can just search white and copper tumbler and it'll come up. It's like $25. They're currently out of stock, but anyways, you can put all those together. Which
I'm still waiting for like coffee cups that match GMK sets.
So
I want a big run of that. want a camping one. I want a modern Dolce. I want cafe. I want all these sets that I love in coffee mugs.
This was a point of contention because a coffee themed set doesn't have a coffee mug that I can buy for it. Here's the deal. There is no purpose for a group buy of a personalized mug or like silver tumbler because they are so inexpensive. So like obviously the purpose of a group buy is to pool all your money together to get this thing at a relatively cheap price, because if you bought it one off, you could never afford it.
Yeah.
Whereas you literally can get a normal ceramic or 16-ounce mug for like $8.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm glad that you brought it back up, because one of the things that I wanted to do was, now that the group buy is closed, I'm going to make that PNG artwork available so that anyone that does want a coffee cup that has the cafe logo on it, they can just order it, as opposed
and it
to
saves you shipping, because shipping a coffee
honestly,
mug, I mean,
the shipping would be the same cost of the mug. Like it just, as much as I wanted to do that, I really pushed for it. It just didn't make sense.
And you have to worry about breaking mugs and quality control.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Oh yes, guys, I have to tell you. So on Friday after school, we have to go to the store to buy stuff to make slime.
Ooh,
and he's really excited about it. So
it's gonna be a fun time.
We had to tell you. So
Mr. Chewy does not like slime.
Hey, can you
because it gets everywhere.
Can you go take care of mommy for me, because daddy's having a call right now? Yeah. Okay. I love you, sweetie. Go upstairs and give mommy lots of hugs. I'll be up in a little bit. You know what? After daddy comes upstairs, okay? Okay. Thank you. Love you.
Wholesome dad moments, part 2.
There it is.
I do try. You mentioned patience earlier before we went live. Chewy said something about he maybe has more patience than most of the world. Before I had kids, I had zero, literally none, no. And now on a scale of 100, I have 1. Kids gave me so much more patience than I had before.
Infinitely more.
Well, infinitely more, right? 0 to 1 is infinite growth. I just, God, no patience in me at all. I was the worst restaurant manager you could ever hope for. No patience. Why isn't that done yet? Jesus, I would have had it done. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So we talked about this on our episode that came out yesterday. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. There has been a new thing that has started in the last couple weeks of the GMK rerun. The quick, just after it started, just after it came out, the lightning round. What's your thoughts on that? How do you feel? Is that something that maybe you're interested in possibly looking at later down the line?
So one of the non-starters that I didn't mention, and again, so circumstances change, right? But one of the non-starters when I first made the set was, I want to do it once. I want to do this set one time. Any subsequent sets, I want to do one time. So, and that was like a specific me being a pretentious designer decision, right? I don't want to do a round 2 because there's so many more ideas that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
That was before I sold 1,000 of the set, and there were a bunch of people that some of the people in the Discord server, I told them, as long as you're here and hanging out, that's support enough. Thank you for being here. One of the very active users, his dog broke his leg, so it's like, I can't buy this month. It's like, buddy, I get it. Don't worry about it. I feel for those types of people. So I don't think that round 2 is completely out of the question. It's very far off if that would ever happen, ever. Let's just be clear about that. On record now, saying if it were to ever happen, it'd be very far from now. And I think the thing that would trigger it is if big if someone were selling cafe for $400 and it sold in 5 minutes, like Olivia was going for $450, $500, $750 I saw once, and it sold like that, like immediate. It's just gone. And that I'm I'm not against flipping in a situation where a group buy was unlimited, but it's not the fault of people that enter the hobby 2 years later that they can't get that set now.
Yeah.
That's not on them. So I'm definitely not opposed to running to counteract that. Again, a lot of variables here. Is Cafe ever going to be flippable? There's over 1,000 that are going to be there with extras. I didn't think 250 was going to happen, so we'll see, right? But that being said, and to answer your question about, do I support these quick reruns, or what do I think about them? I think it's got to be a case by case basis. So number one, I'm for it, but like provided that all of the levers are being pulled, right? So like DMG is the perfect example of why you should do that again, in my opinion. Like I sat there with a pre-order open for what felt like 6 years, looking, I don't know if I want to pay $200 for this set. It's good, but how good is it? And then, similar to Shoko, it shows up and it's like, my God, I have to have this thing. But now I'm going to pay $400 or $500 for it.
Mhm.
So the fact that immediately they were like, wow, everybody wants this damn thing. Let's run a quick round 2. And they sold like 130 sets in the first 2 days. Obviously it's going to hit MOQ again. A set that went relatively unnoticed now in this market that everyone's going to buy at the group buy price or better than, I think is good for the community. I think Nines is very similar. I thought Nines sold, 700-800 kits. It didn't. I thought it really did. But the fact that people got it and it looks fantastic, rerun it. Please do. I think that's fantastic. But if you've got a situation where, and not to, I have to be careful here because Oblivion's a good set, okay?
Right.
But we're talking round 4. You sell 3,000 kits. I know that freaking set is going to get delivered and they're going to put another run up on drop. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be round 5 of Oblivion. Maybe they sell another 1,500 kits. Good for them. I don't know if I love that personally, but again, it's capitalism. If people are buying what you're selling, good for you. I worry about that upstart, that newcomer, that person that was like me that's like, God, are we even going to hit MOQ? And again, I got wildly lucky that I had a set that resonated with people and people wanted to buy and the price was right. Not a lot of people get lucky. I mentioned Oasis earlier. I think there are some really, really fantastic, strong things about that set, and I'm happy to say that I think it's going to become a thing in Cat, which will be very cool. But Jay Saints wasn't lucky with that. It wasn't, whether it was timing or what, I don't know. And if you've got more Oblivions continuing to run again, it's it makes the barrier for entry harder. And when if we want growth and we want inclusion, we have to be able to make sure that the new people can also enter in, which I don't think we have a problem with as a community right now. Maybe I'm just hypersensitive to future state if that were to become a thing, because I think right now you could support, just like last month, there were 2 sets sold 3,000 kits before any extras, and there were 15 other sets that all hit MOQ. So, I don't know what the answer is, but currently as it stands right now, until it becomes problematic, I'm for it. I'm for the reruns. I think it's good. Unless you're doing the thing where, if in-group buy DMG is $150, and then immediately it gets delivered, everyone loves it, and your new price again is $220.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed out. You want it. It's lower than flipper price. Buy up, which I don't think the key company would do, but I would probably take issue with that personally.
Yeah. And then that was kind of one of our things we talked about is we understand like maybe $20-$30 above what the initial group buy run was.
I think that's fair.
I think it's,
right? Like,
it's fair, right? Like
we were ahead of the curve.
Sense.
We took on the risk, let's try this again. I get that.
I'm also in full support of the idea of change it a little bit, maybe do something a little bit different, make round 1 special, your initial supporters. That's it. As we move away from the necessity of the group buy model, I think that maintains that aspect of the community and gets that exclusivity. We're no longer in the 400 is a huge number of sets sold.
Yeah,
we're selling 2,000. So
Yeah.
I don't-
Well, and you look at camping ground too. Like, and I'm going to be totally honest. I don't like camping. I don't like SA. I don't like GMK. I don't think it's a good set personally. It's just not for me. Okay, the colors work, not for me though. You know, round 2 camping. I mean, they sold what, over 1,000 with extras? Like, I mean, that's a damn good sale. Like, that would have been record breaking a year ago. So, and they changed it slightly, which, I mean, I like it. Take the chance, right? You do you.
Chewy's mad at you now because you don't
No,
like camping.
Chewy, poor, he's gonna cough or he's not feeling good. Something happened.
Yeah, he's mad because you don't like camping, and that's his literal favorite set of all time.
You say I love camping. That's what I heard.
No, it's the cold again, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
your
no,
ears
no,
hurt.
that's-
Your ears
yeah,
hurt.
I heard I love camping. I think it's the greatest set, and it's better than Shoko in every way, shape, or form.
I mean, it
I'm just
very well
messing.
could be for some people. It's all about preference, right?
It's all about
You know?
preference.
That's why 65% is the most useless keyboard layout there is. It's all about preference.
Okay, so now I'm shook. Like, feel personally attacked. 65% is useless. I think 3 of my favorite boards I talked about were 65s.
But look at our emotes,
we were
man.
fighting.
Give me
I was
those.
unaware that we were fighting.
65s.
Okay.
No 65%.
I just want to say that I'm in
chat.
full support of the 65%. And I'm gonna call Chewy out. His first custom board ever was a 65%.
It was. The most expensive board I ever bought was a 65%, and I sold it.
True, Zephyr.
Now I'm
I
sad.
tried. Hey, I've owned enough 65% to know that I don't like it.
Well, that's for me. That's what it's about, right? Like, try it. If you don't like it, cool, but don't shit on it unless you know it, right? Like,
I know it. I know
Yeah.
the full extent of it.
well,
And when I realized
that's fine.
how
But again, I go
worthless
back
that
to the
side of the
preference,
board.
like,
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a meme at this
Oh
point.
no, I'm okay with
Because
it.
I honestly,
I'm okay
I
with
actually
the meme.
like some of the. You can clip this, whatever, throw it in my face. The only reason I don't like it is because I use caps lock as my function key,
Okay.
and I use WASD as my arrows. And so at that point, arrow keys are kind of worthless to me because I do it all with my left hand. And then so I have page up, page down, delete. I do caps lock, escape for delete. And I so rarely use page up, page down that that's all keys that are mapped to my left hand that I just don't need.
Yeah.
And that's literally why. Like, that's why 65% in particular to me is just one that I don't need any of this.
I do very much like the idea of having your caps lock key be your function key.
Because I don't
So-
need caps lock.
Well, number one, you don't need caps lock. It's stupid. So I think we all agree on that. But number two, so in the training world, I do a lot of like live demos, right? As part of my job, I'll show people how to use a tool, or I'll show them where things are, or how to access stuff. And people cannot follow a mouse, right? Most of the people I'm dealing with are, and I say dealing with, that's probably inappropriate, that I'm training, they're older gen, maybe technology is not their strong point, right? They've been in hospitality for 20 years. Computer isn't something that you always need a skill to have good hospitality experience. So anyways, one thing that I do is Windows has a setting to show where your mouse pointer is if you push control. So as I'm doing demos, that bottom corner is very easy for me to never have to look at my keyboard to always know where I can ping where this cursor is. So I never want to move control. So I'm a big proponent of putting function where the caps lock is, especially if you're lucky enough to have a locking switch, because then you just put mod layer there and it's a toggle between two layers as opposed to a hold down type situation. So regardless of your distaste for 65%, sir, I do very much agree with function in that caps lock area. And I know I probably just maybe triggered or upset some people that love control there because it's super comfy. I happen to disagree. It's not my preference. So
Preference. It's all about preference.
Be
as mad as you want.
All preference.
Oh God.
How else are you supposed to yell
Oh man.
I am very mad. Eskimo Joe, you just describe the entire community in one in one line.
In one
I'm
line.
very mad.
I'm very mad.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Talisman Solutions. Thank you for
Yes.
the 1,111 bits. Appreciate it
Mm.
as always.
The Talisman special.
Opinions
Quad
can
ones.
be wrong.
Odd ones.
love it.
I want that as a shirt, Rick. Opinions can be wrong.
So
That might be one of the greatest quotes.
Opinions can be wrong.
so we're now
I'm-
on our second shirt that we need to design. Last week we
Yes.
came up with the I'm in an open relationship with my keyboard
Yes.
for Kale
Now-
hot swap sockets, and then now we have opinions can be wrong.
Write these. I need to write these.
Mechs on deck merch line coming soon.
2020, spring of 2020.
But no, so back to the running of Cafe. I know he was in here earlier, Mr. UPOS himself.
Yes.
What was it like working with him, working with the people over at Cannon Keys?
I I can't quite fathom a better experience personally. So I am certain that if I had run Cafe with Mike or with Dixie or with 159 at Project Keyboard, it doesn't matter. I'm certain that it would have been a very good experience. Let me just say that. This isn't a slight on them because I didn't run with them, so I don't know. But the level of patience you have to take me is probably kind of impressive. So the fact that anytime I had a 2 a.m. question or I was like, hey, what about this? And what I need is direct. I either need a yes, a no, or and a why behind it. Just tell me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Like if you walked up to me and said that Cafe was the worst set you've ever had or ever seen in your life, it was the crappiest thing on planet Earth. You're like, cool, man. Thanks for letting me know. Like, do you have any specifics why? So maybe I can look at it. That'd be great. Because I've been in hospitality for 25 years or whatever it is now. And I just don't get miffed by that stuff anymore because it's not personal. Someone had a bad day and they're taking it out. Whatever. That being said, UPOS, his name's Andrew. It's not like it's a secret. So Andrew, I feel weird saying his screen name when I consider him a friend. So
I'm just
Andrew.
glad that you use the name screen name.
What?
Because screen
wrong?
name came from the days of AOL Instant Messenger.
Okay. His username, his Discord name.
Well, we have
his
Discord
community
tags,
name?
gamer tags, username,
screen name.
but screen name I have not heard forever, and
Well, I'm a bit of a holdover from days of yore, my friend.
dude.
So,
AIM.
all that being said, an incredible level of patience and good with follow through, responsive is very good. I Minterly reached out and was like, "Hey, how was your experience with Andrew and Cannon Keys?" And I was like, "Please God, if you have a set, run it through him. He's just so patient." And so Eternal is right now running on Cannon Keys, and she would have found the right place regardless of with whom she ran the set. Obviously, Bliss was successful with Dixie. Mike's taken on tons of sets. She would have ended up somewhere perfect anyways. But I'm just happy that I could put two good people together as it at least help put two good people together there. And then it was nice because I think PAX West, she got to meet him with Tiny. So that was cool. But anyways, the TLDR was, I could not be happier. And I got a friend out of it. So that's cool.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then shout out Rick. Thank you for the appreciate it.
He's our local coffee aficionado.
He is. So I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Lattes. Because Rick's a big latte guy. He doesn't actually drink like regular coffee. He's all about the lattes.
So
Can you call yourself a coffee snob if you don't drink coffee? You drink lattes.
So The answer is absolutely you can. It depends on how much. In my opinion, again, opinions can be wrong. This is opinion, this is preference. And this is also coming from a place of I drink black coffee, whether it's hot, it's cold. My thing is I drink black coffee. I want to taste the black coffee. So, I'm not big on sugar. I have a salt tooth. I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't crave chocolate or sweets. I crave chips. Terrible things for my heart. That's what I want. So maybe that informs my opinion. If the latte is without a metric F ton of sugar, like, because that's the problem that I have with lattes is like if I go to a chain or even a local one and I say, I want this, vanilla latte, they're going to put 8 pumps of a simple syrup that's flavored with vanilla in it. And that's not my jam because all I taste is sugar. I don't taste coffee. I don't taste milk. I don't taste anything except sugar and maybe a tinge of vanilla, which is a lovely flavor, by the way. You should vanilla all the things. Anyways, if a latte, if it's with your milk specifically, like, because that's the purpose of a latte, at least as far as I understand it, is frothed milk and espresso is technically a latte. You don't need sugar to make a latte. You can make a lot of lattes. A latte. It's terrible. I'm absolutely
I want
for
so
that
much
latte.
to drink a beer with in person.
I will happily have beers with you. I'll have beers with you now. I have a backup because I'm an adult that has a problem. So
the medicine and alcohol probably don't mix that well.
Well, and because I fucked up my back, it's
There you go, even better.
Extra reasons. I gotta medicate.
Dixie Mechs here. What's up, Dixie?
Hey Dixie, how you doing? Oh, I got to sign a Bauer when I was in Seattle. That was one of the highlights of my life. That Dixie came up to me and was like, "Hey, would you sign this?" I was like, "What? Me? Me? Yes, absolutely, I will." Oh my god, that was big. And then it was after the fact that I noticed everyone signed with their screen name, and I signed my full goddamn name. And I did not. I swear to God, I didn't know it at the time, but man, did I take up all the real estate on that Bauer. It's my name just right across. It's huge. Oh shit. So anyways, yes, I'm in favor of lattes. Sans all the sugar. So if we're talking about it, I will go for black coffee in any form. Cold brew, French press, drip, if that's all we got, let's hang. Okay, pour over your Turkish style coffee, espresso, anything. Do it. Okay, maybe especially with espresso, maybe just a hint of an orange peel, just a little kiss of citrus. Fantastic. You should try it. Yeah, I guess I dodge all your questions a little bit, but in my preference, black coffee, and I absolutely think that lattes are acceptable. Sans sugar.
Yeah, I'm all about black coffee as well. I love bitter. I like IPAs. I enjoy Isla scotches. I like the bitter notes. My favorite coffee drink combines. It's really weird. Combines raspberry juice, lime juice, and Topo Chico. It's very interesting. It's very weird, but it's really, really good.
Maybe you'll have to send me that recipe. I don't know if I'm on board.
It was really
hearing it.
It's like it's cold brew, Topo Chico, raspberry juice, and lime juice, and it is awesome.
I'm weird. I just French roast cold brew, like day 2 or day 3 of it. Little Splenda splash of heavy whipping cream to make it.
Yeah,
thick.
I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong. That's my favorite. With sweetening your coffee. There's absolutely nothing wrong.
I love a frappuccino. I don't care. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'll drink my coffee like a white girl. Don't like the bitter. I don't need that giant wake up in the morning.
As long as you know, like, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna ever go into a coffee shop and tell someone, "Oh, you shouldn't order that. You know how much sugar's in
You're not
that?"
a man unless you hate your coffee.
Like, God, let people live their lives, man. You know, so if you're asking me, I prefer a black coffee and a sugar-free latte. If you want to drink a giant frappuccino, fuck, man, get after it. You do you. Just one thing that I will say about myself is that I will forever and always be unapologetically who I am. And so I want everyone else to be able to be that too. So,
Exactly.
so please drink your frappuccino with pride.
How do I feel
I know
like
what
mocha?
I like.
Mocha's all right.
Yeah, mocha's the jam, right? Like,
Oh, I'd say my second favorite thing, which Osiris actually got me on like 6 years ago, is the Kona Blend Monster Coffee drink.
those. Okay, so I will make exceptions, and that is, I will drink that.
They're like
They're amazing.
they're surprisingly good, and it's surprisingly strong coffee flavored.
Yeah.
Specifically
Like,
the
I'm
Kona
drinking
blend.
It's still
If
very.
you,
Just
if
the
you
Kona
get
blend.
the
But-
vanilla mocha, you're like, okay, I'm drinking like sugar. But the Kona blend is like, it's hard to find. You usually have to go to like the back of stores to find it, or certain gas stations. But the gas station right where Eric and I used to work always had them stocked up because it was right next to a racetrack.
Who's Eric?
And well,
me.
doxed, whatever.
I know.
And we used to go get a bunch of Kona blends, and he was like, "Yeah, dude," he bought like 2, and he was like, "Hey, you should try this instead of," because I used to always get a white mocha extra shot. That was my drink.
Mhm.
He was like, "You should try this," and
And
I
you
was
love
like, Okay, done.
And just to put a bow on the present that is the coffee conversation. Absolutely, I am a light roast guy. So that kind of stemmed from an obsession to get as much caffeine as possible into a coffee drink. And I know that, you know, the longer you roast the beans, the more you roast any caffeine out of it. So I got accustomed to that. You can put a metric ton of light roast in something and make it good and bitter, but that like over roasted, almost burning the bean kind of flavor isn't really my jam. So I will say that as far as specific coffee snobbery that I prefer.
No, I've been, once I got on the cold brew train about 8 months ago, I haven't gotten off. It's just too good. And once you get like, if you can do it like Friday and then like make it Friday and drink it Monday, that's like the sweet spot where it's just been sitting.
Yeah, because especially if you allow the grounds to stay in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
So-
never take them out.
Yeah, so a few things. I mean, I feel like more people know now than when I first started preaching it. But you know, the light roast thing. Light roast always has more caffeine, even than espresso.
Mhm.
But one of the reasons for that is because the caffeine is pulled from coffee beans through time that it's in contact with water, not anything to do with necessarily the grind or the roast of it. Right? Obviously, light to dark is different, but so a cold brew that sits for 3 days is going to have a far higher caffeine content than a drip coffee, than a pour over, any of that kind of stuff, even a French press sitting there. So that's going to get you jazzed, friend.
Oh yeah.
Especially what if I can't remember what it is. I have a whole bunch of it. It's like Death's something coffee, and it's like double caffeine.
Yeah. So I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, but that specific brand, the one with the skull and crossbones on the front, I thought they recalled some coffee a while back.
I don't, you know.
I
Maybe.
would look into it because there was an issue with, I believe, someone can Google this and correct me, but I thought metal shave. So for whatever reason, I know there was trouble. Like there was a news story about that specific brand. So maybe just take a peek just to be safe.
I might
And
have
it
to
may
do
have
some
been long.
research.
I would just check to be safe. Like peace of mind. I would do that. And as a friend, I'm telling you that. So
Jack Static coming in with the 1 month sub, 4 months in a row. Thank you.
Wait,
Jamaica Blue Mountain.
where's the horn?
Change your life.
Oh yes.
Oh, the
we've
horn.
we've
Jamaica Blue Mountain.
upgraded
Yeah.
the horn to the actual sub sound, so the viewers hear it. You might not hear it, but we can. Chewy will.
Okay, thank God. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get the horn. Yeah, it's so good.
There
And
it is.
then
Thank you for
Shota-
entertaining me. I'm sorry, users that already heard it on their end, but I missed it.
You're
So
good. Shota
Showed it with the 69 bits.
69 bits and 101
nice.
a little bit.
Nice.
A little bit ago. So, yeah, I think
What's
You know,
next,
I'm
friends?
sitting here, I was like, we've been talking about coffee in my keyboard. I mean, it's GMK Cafe.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
So-
what did you think?
Exactly. They're going to talk about coffee
What
all
do you
day
think is
long.
gonna happen?
GMK Cafe.
I'm also notorious. I told you, I am a time burglar. I will
Listen,
go on tangents.
no guest we have ever had, not to crap on any other guests, but no guest has messaged me more asking how, because to put in perspective, I think Thursday or Friday, I get a message that's like, hey, can you send me some questions? I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then I got really sick over the weekend. And then I told him either yesterday or the day before, I was like, hey man, I'm sorry. I didn't get these questions out to you, but I'll do it right. I'll do it here in like the next hour or so. And then like the next 2 days, he's like, hey dude, are you feeling okay? Hey, are you feeling okay? I was like, man, this guy cares more about me than my mom does.
Well, it sucks to be sick, man. I mean, I'm concerned. I don't want anyone to feel bad, physically or mentally. You know,
Exactly. So
I do. And again, I think that's maybe Jesus.
maybe.
I think that's maybe either a byproduct of just who I am, or I got my first hospitality job. I started waiting tables at the local cafe in Freeman when I was 12. So I got paid under the table to wait on little old ladies and bring them coffee and clear their tables from the salad bar. The salad bar. It's cottage cheese and mayonnaise and pasta salads. That's your salad bar with a soup. And your hot beef sandwich that goes with it. Anyways, I think maybe that's part of, I'm that's 20 years ago now. Holy shit, I'm old. But anyways, my entire life, more than half my life, I've been focused on caring about other people. And I still obviously take care of myself, but if somebody says, man, I'm not feeling well, I'm not quite 100%, I'm like, bitch, I'm going to check up on you. Like, I'm going to ask you.
So,
because it matters to me. You have intersected into my life in a way, and I give a damn. So,
well, there you go. Definitely appreciate that.
I'm just glad you're feeling better. That's all.
Yeah,
Me
well,
too.
for the most part, I was bad yesterday. Yesterday was one of those like I didn't get out of bed days.
It's like one of those
No
days
bueno.
you hope it's like this is the final. It's
This
like
better.
it's
Well,
hitting
I
me
went to
as much
sleep.
as possible. Hopefully, after this, it's
I
done.
laid back down from breakfast at like 8:45, and I tossed and turned for like until like 10:15, 10:30. And I was watching some movies and some TV shows. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mhm.
I'm glad I see another B99 fan. And I'm like, if it's one of those like if I'm under the covers, I'm too hot, or I'm freezing. And then I finally fall asleep and I wake up drenched in sweat and I felt great.
Oh,
And I was like, it finally the fever finally cracked.
the full
thank God.
that weird catharsis. Not only do you physically feel so much better, but the catharsis of going to sleep terrible and waking up like, oh, it's gone. Like it's so good. Also, don't think I don't see that McDonald's cup you were just drinking out of. I see
Mine?
you.
Me.
I see you.
McDonald's cup.
I was like,
I left work today and I was like, I'm really thirsty. And I was like, man, do I stop at Sonic and get a nice drink? And then I was like, wait, McDonald's, it's $1 for any size. I got $1.08 sitting in my center console.
boom.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now I filled it up with water.
Boom. I have not seen that possible collaboration.
Yeah,
Send it to in our Discord,
I think it's
which I hope.
he responded to Nathan earlier today. MKBHD responded to Nathan about possibly wanting a board, so that'd be really cool if that actually happens.
I'm not
Nice.
quite sure who that is, but yeah.
Yeah, someone shared a tweet from someone that's an OSU player. I don't know what that is about Cafe. So that was cool, I guess.
Really?
Like someone likes someone likes Cafe and they're famous-ish. I don't know. Whatever.
Who knows?
I was like, thanks for sharing. And it was, and I will give credit where it's due. It was Halo, the creator of GMKB. So I love that dude. He's so silly. Ugh, makes my heart happy. Anyways,
Well,
other than that,
what next, friends? It's
Any-
been a while.
yeah. Any questions from chat? If you we're gonna before we get into the last couple questions, the heavy hitters. The two
Yes,
big
the heavy hitters.
questions.
I guess I haven't been paying attention to chat. Brass key set win. Urban. Come on. You know that's up next. The next key set 2 is brass. All brass.
All brass.
about 60 keys, average about $60 per. So some quick math, that's a $3,600 key set for
I mean,
a 60%.
It seems like a steal to me.
Yeah. I mean,
It's actually brass.
one up it. Do copper.
Yeah.
Showed
someone's sharing
IRL
some
with
bits for a
500
marriage
bits.
proposal. Look at that.
There it is.
Oh, is that Halo?
I think it is.
Shoda IRL. Shoda came out actually as
As what?
Oh, hey, also while I have the platform or time or people's attention,
absolutely.
A huge, massive, crazy shout out to Fiskars, who in the end, we still wouldn't quite have made MOQ for the 40s, but
is this the guy that bought like 80 kits of?
He literally bought 10 of everything, and also bought an additional 50 40s kits. Just without.
I remember hearing about this
because Fiskars is that kind of crazy that you love because, oh my God, I don't know why he necessarily chose me or Cafe, but holy God, massive thank you to that. Like unparalleled support from a monetary perspective. So thank you, Fiskars.
That's incredible. And that's the thing about this community. We have people that'll do stuff like that. Like round 1 of DMG wasn't gonna hit, and then extras got there because I think it was like, I can't remember who. I think it might have been Krellbit purchased like a bunch of sets of that, and then they were able to hit MOQ, and now it's in round 2.
I mean, look at Talisman. Like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
The number of subs and bits and support. Same, Japanese horror writer. Same people. Like these people that come up again and again that support the community is just I have no words. Like it's thank you. It's thank you. My God. It's part of the reason why I love this community so damn much. Like it's thank you.
I mean, really, we should be thanking Talisman, the Japanese horror
exactly,
support us a bunch. And Talisman's a really cool dude. Like just talking to him, messaging back and forth. He's a cool dude. So yeah, it's crazy the support that this community puts into not only the designers in the community and the people that are putting things together and making these wonderful creations that we get to enjoy, but for the content creators as well. It's really awesome to see people support everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes me happy. So anyways, I wanted to take that opportunity and shout out. There's innumerable other people. They're super active in the Langelandia Discord, which I don't know why, but thank you. Like I don't know what's special about me. I don't know what I did that was special, but people are there. They're active. They're very happy, and I'm just glad that there's more than no people. So a couple hundred is beyond my comprehension. So
someone says, can Lang give us a quick version of his Academy Award acceptance speech?
Petrov. Okay, so the brief 15-minute version. When I was a kid, my father. No.
First, you have to go back to 1814 when my great grandfather.
Well, if you really want that story, Peter Agagard, he came from a small village in Denmark, and he came over in 1879. And interestingly enough, it took 3 trains to get from his village in Denmark to the port that would put him on the ship that would take him to the U.S. And wouldn't you know it, all 3 ships he rode got robbed. So this poor guy from this small town in Denmark gets on 3 trains, and all get robbed. And then all of a sudden, he shows up in America, and he's got money.
And one thing led to another, and GMK.
No, he actually.
Was made.
So as a part, so this is just jokes aside. As a part of how crazy the world is, so Upton Sinclair was a fantastic journalist that obviously wrote the book The Jungle to expose and meat packing and in the early 20th century and did a ton of really great work. One of the people that he surveilled, I'll say, was Mr. Peter Egegard, at least in some of his stories, because Pater, when he died in 1921, had something to the effect of 15,000 head of cattle in South Dakota, because all of this money that he had from these trains when he came over to the U.S., this group of Danish people moved to the Midwest in the homestead areas in the 1880s, and they said, "This is terrible. We want to go home." So he was like, "Okay, so here's money. You can pay for your voyage home, but you can't take your cattle or your homestead or your land with you, and I'll just buy it from you in exchange." So by the time he died, he had a couple $1 million in 1920s money. And so anyways, somehow my family helped make the jungle a terrible place, and Upton Sinclair get I assume a Pulitzer Prize for that. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout
Anyways.
out to Racing Draft for the 11 bits and Shoda for the 30 bits. Definitely appreciate that, guys.
I will spin a web of tales that you cannot tell are true or not. All night if you let me.
Listen, if you're ever free, man, we're just gonna turn the stream on. I'll just let you go. You just start talking, and we'll just
fine.
Start from like
just call me.
1690, and we'll just let it go.
See, 1690 is an interesting year because right around that time, New York isn't a British colony. At that time, the Dutch control it. So really, that's a special time in American history because you've got this, aggression between Dutch. The King of Orange, I think, is 1690s thereabouts, and your British people, your Puritan coming over. So, we could talk a lot about 1690.
Oh man,
I'm amazed at what the knowledge you could just right there,
off the dome,
right there.
Now
it's confident enough you don't know if you should call me on it.
I was about to say, if you guys are on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, call this guy.
I do very much like trivia. My God,
you might just convince. I was gonna say Regis Philbin, but he hasn't done it in a long time. I don't know who's doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire anymore, but you might just convince him, even though they say it's wrong.
Didn't Terry Crews do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire recently? Isn't that
really?
Well, I thought, wasn't it?
I
don't know.
Was a woman for a while.
It was Margaret Vieira, I think is her name.
Sure,
Meredith.
You know
Vieira.
what?
Meredith Vieira. That's her name.
She's very popular in the South. I know that.
She is.
Who's that person? I don't know who that is. Oh. Anyways, what were the questions in chat? I have not been paying. See some laughing from Jeff Leopard.
Jax, I'm not sure why you're getting ads for Pixel 4 if you're subscribed. I'm not sure. Twitch is doing weird things with ads now. We are not running any ads to my knowledge ourselves. We have not run a single ad break. So I'm not sure why you continue to get ads even though you're subscribed.
Yeah.
My apologies. I appreciate you. But we'll get into the meat and potatoes question.
Oh, in my brain I had meat and potatoes queued up. I cannot believe you said it.
Synced up.
Hot damn. I'm so excited you said that. That's what I like to call it, Jeffism. Like when I say boy howdy, I say it all day. Boy howdy, let's do this.
That's a common saying out here in Texas. So
boy howdy.
Oh, okay.
Yeehaw.
What is your favorite and least favorite part about this community at this time?
It's the same answer, man. It's the people. So on the favorite part, we talked about it during the break, during my acceptance speech for my Academy Award. But Cafe doesn't. The genesis of an idea of me doing a key set does not exist without someone making some silly meme comment about, why don't you do a key set, or you could do one, you jackass, or whatever it was. And then for it to turn and it be this huge support. And you have stories like that constantly through, there are people whose literal jobs are now the keyboard community and supporting it because the people gave them feedback or helped them or bought or supported or whatever it is. We have a full-time fucking streamer. What the hell? That's something, man. Like that's intense. And I will have, and I by no means am a super well-educated person, okay? But I do very much have a hard focus on empathy and am concerned about other people's plights. So we'll have very intense conversations about. Last night we were talking about how we did or did not agree with the term white privilege, right? And this is between a multicultural group of people, and no one is personally attacking one another. We're having a genuine grown-up ass conversation like we've known each other for 15 years, and we're all learning and growing as a part of it. And that's just one aspect of the community and the people in it that make it the best thing on the planet, I think. We are a very niche, small, admittedly weird group of people, right? We obsess over different types of materials, and engineers probably love it because these things. But it's, I don't know, it's the best fucking part of this community, and that's that's also the problem that leads us into the worst part of it is simply because. And a few people on Top Clack today had really, really good specific answers and points about how easy it is to access these people that have been able to make this a full-time job, right? Like, I can ping Dixie now, and Garrett and I can talk about an order I submitted, if that is something that I need, right?
Mhm.
That's not something that I can fucking do at 3M. I can't reach the manufacturer, the person responsible for fulfilling my order anywhere else. But you bet your ass I can here. And part of the thing that makes this community so great is the people and their passion behind it. But that passion is a double-edged sword because I am dying to get my Nightmare. I cannot wait for it. And the number of orders that Keyhive received for their boards as a result of doing that has been huge. So there's been delays, which is completely 100%. But you bet your ass that I could send an email to Cody right the fuck now, and I could say, where is my order? Like, and anyone that it doesn't have the correct perspective or is upset to do that can reach them directly and affect them negatively. You don't need someone focusing their ire at you because the thing they're super passionate about hasn't happened at the timeline that their life needed, right? And I'm not specifically singling out people or trying to say that these people are bad. People sometimes they're hurt or they're sad or they're upset or whatever it is, and that can get focused into the wrong area or channels. So the thing that I dislike the most about the community right now isn't necessarily that I can access a vendor super easily. It's because that some of that negative passion can be focused, and that can potentially hurt people, and that I don't like. I don't like the idea of, we talked about it earlier. I'm like, so long as you don't hate on someone else for liking or doing something, man, that's cool. Don't like it all day. Just don't blow up their spot because they like their thing.
Yeah.
There's no reason to hate. It's so easy to not be a shitty person. Like, it's so easy, but we just get so caught up sometimes that we are snarky or passive aggressive. Minnesota, hi, it's the land of passive aggression. So, like, let's just call it what it is.
I always love that. It's like, it literally costs you $0 to not be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes it takes genuine effort to be an asshole. Plus, there's other factors, that because we're caught up in the moment, or we're talking about switches or this idea or that or this design or whatever, we don't read through the layers of things. Part of my job is that I teach people how to present, how to speak to others, how to lead a group. And we talk about communication in that. And a one-on-one communication is very, very intimate and very specific. And it's especially the same in front of a group. But the vast majority of what you say to them has nothing to do with the words you say. It's all focused on your body language and your tone of voice and content. The words themselves matter something like less than 10%, around 7%. So when we're in a text-based only situation and you've got people who maybe don't speak this language as their first language, it's usually English because a lot of the community is based in the US and this theater outside of China. China's got their own kind of closed community, right? But so, you've got someone from Europe or South America or somewhere in Asia Pacific that's speaking English as a second language, and their culture is different, and we don't get to understand what they actually mean because it's just the words. We can unintentionally also harm others because we're not being empathetic, So long answer. Or what's my favorite part of this community? It's the people. What's my least favorite part of the community? Sometimes it's the people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, but last question, the big one. The Office or Parks and Rec?
Are you surprised to have a long answer?
No.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I will give you I will tell you this. I will give you a definitive one or the other at the end. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So when I look at it from a personal attachment, for me it's The Office. Because my wife and I share it together. It's the thing we put on in the background. When we cannot decide if we want to watch a movie or a show or start something new, The Office comes on. It's kind of our bond. Now, in a vacuum, when you look at the series as a whole, as a complete finished product, I think that Parks and Rec probably is better because there are some seriously questionable or shaky things that happen in the last few seasons of The Office, especially after Michael goes and there's some weird, stuff that goes on. I do have to give The Office the edge out of the sheer fact that Mose, Michael Schur, so again, trivia here, friends that don't know, the actor that plays Mose is actually named Michael Schur, and he's a writer on The Office at the time. Once he leaves The Office, goes on to be a co-creator of Parks and Rec, and then goes on to be a co-creator of The Good Place, and also co-creates Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So, Nine-Nine! So anyways, Michael Schur, if you look at it from, and I know we're going to get into an argument of first doesn't mean best, and if it's the only thing that The Office gives us is Parks and Rec, I think Parks and Rec edges it out. But because of the freedom and the style and the groundbreakingness that was The Office, at least in the US, I know the UK started with it. That's a whole nother fucking ball of wax I'm not going to go into.
It's not even the same.
They're not, right? You take a concept and you make it something entirely, right? But because you have three, in my opinion, incredibly fantastic, well-written, good shows that come because of the way that The Office was set up and the writing was allowed to take place, for me, it's The Office out of those two. But neither is the correct answer because my favorite live-action television show is Scrubs, without question. So the answer is Scrubs.
Scrubs.
I told you I'd give you a definitive answer. The answer is Scrubs.
There you go.
That's another great one.
We don't have to talk about seasons.
Yeah, I was right. The ones
we don't have to talk about it. It's fine. It's fine. There's the writer's strike. It was a problem.
Mm-hmm. There's some outliers, but that's another good show. And I like The Office. I'm full. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Jim and Pam is the greatest love story of my generation.
That's part of the reason why my wife Nicole and I jam with it so much. Is like, boy howdy, we really do just fit that kind of mold, right? Like, and then also, my wife and I, we've been together since high school, and through completely dumb luck, me managing restaurants and her being in HR, we ended up working in the same office together. Right around the same time that The Office was at its height, and Netflix was, this is 8 or 9 years ago, right? So we're watching a ton of The Office, and we're working in an office together. We commute together, or we get married while we work in the same office. Like, it's just, it's a whole thing. So I have a very emotional attachment to that. But it's still Scrubs.
Well, there you go. Well,
2
man,
hours later. I'm sorry.
Jeff, no, trust me. Honestly, though, like, I want to put you up against I Am Me, You Are You.
What a good episode.
Just like
That
24-hour stream of just like
Content.
him at Mod House. Oh my God. Him at Mod House in Seattle. I would have talked to him for fucking weeks. I
Dude,
love him.
Yeah. Y'all are both just like super insightful, super knowledgeable. I could listen to y'all talk for days. What's funny is
what we do.
And not everyone knows this, but after the I Am Me, You Are You stream, him and I talked for another like 5 hours. We talked until like 2 a.m.
Holy
after
God.
the stream. It was
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta pee something fierce. So if we're gonna talk, we're gonna have to take a break.
Well,
But I'm happy to chat.
I've got stuff I gotta do to get ready for
we got
NorCal
coming up.
Oh, all right. So no, that's okay.
But
Good
thank you
excuse.
for coming on.
Talk to him for 5 hours. Got to drop off after me. That's okay. I see where I rank. That's fine.
Dixie,
Quick shout out. Yeah, Chewy was going to say something, so I guess I'll let him talk now.
MechsOnDeck.DixieMech.com. GMK Terra, go get it.
Fucking A, buy Terra. If you like green, that fucking set, dude.
It looks great.
Yes.
Can't wait to buy it. Can't wait to
And
put it
not
on my
just
Austin.
green,
Shout
but
out to
damn
Drifting
good
Bunnies. And I'm sorry, switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net, 4% off. Sorry, switchmod.net/Mechs on Deck. I can't talk, man.
okay.
4% off for springs, lube, all that good stuff. GMK Alter's running right now. Go check it out. And last but not least, Zap Cables. You can right now. It's a one-time only cable party, CABLE, PARTY, for 15% off a DIY kit. No limos are excluded because I believe he is out of stock at the moment. But we're going to be building some cables to give away live on our 24-hour stream on the 23rd of November. The kind of goal is to like you buy the cable kit and then we all build it together. So be sure to check that out. Promo code Cable Party. Yep. Let me throw the sponsors thing in here. And speaking of the man that we are showing clear favoritism to of I Am You Are You, we're going to rate him.
Nice. I like that.
Cool.
I like that. So just as a quick aside, before you do a
absolutely.
raid or anything in the same vein as the whole Zap Cables, build a cable thing, if you haven't built one and you're on the fence, do it. I did it all by myself in a vacuum, and it was mildly frustrating, but also it was so nice to have that finished product with high quality elements that you put together. Please take the chance now and do it. It's
rewarding.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
So.
And we have a video if you don't want the mild frustration or minimize the mild frustration. We do have a video where John walks us through how to build one, so you can kind of use that as a little bit of a guide. But it is definitely very rewarding, and it feels good once you get it all done and you're like, it works.
You hear
you're
that?
just like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like the first time you turn on your computer after you build it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And you're
so
like,
good.
all the fans are running. I'm not
What a
touching
feeling.
anything.
Holy crap. Now that,
The post screen, you just want to
I
get up
just
and
like remembering the feeling of building a PC and it working. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
But there always is one problem, which is 99% of the time it's like, shit, I forgot to plug in the graphics card.
Yeah.
Like I forgot to plug the power into the graphics card or whatever. But yeah, and then if you guys are going to be in NorCal meetup this weekend, we will be there. Be sure to come say hello. We will be there all weekend. So hit us up on the Discord. Thank you, Jeff, for your good times, your dad jokes,
dad moments.
dad moments.
I don't know. Is that the first time you've had surprise children?
Yes.
On your show?
It is.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, this is sad. I'll say this. I work with children, whatever. When you were like, "Oh, hey there," I was like, "Oh, I get to see a dog." And it was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a kid."
I love the honesty, dude. It's so fucking refreshing. No,
Gosh,
not just one of them. Not just one of them was awake.
Both.
Both of them made their way down here.
It was awesome.
Say hello. Oh God.
You sometimes you forget that. You forget that a lot of these people in the community are grown up.
Just
That's
normal human
another thing
beings.
about this is we have people who are 17, 18 years old, still in high
Yeah.
school, all the way up
And
to
doing some fucking crazy
Yeah.
stuff, by the way.
Dude, Mechanisk, man.
What?
Fropsy is like he just turned 18, doing a bunch of cool stuff.
He like just fucking picked up CAD or 3D modeling like 2 months ago or whatever it was. He's like, hey, how about this board? Well, look at this one. I know it's a little similar to this one, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, fuck, dude, what?
We
God
are all
damn.
just humans. My
Ugh.
wife is 6 feet, not even 4 feet that way from me, and she's been sitting here through most of the stream.
Hi,
very
Mrs.
patiently.
Chewy.
Mrs. Chewy.
Doodle Bob. That's her.
Doodle Bob.
That's her.
Oily
Doodle
Josh
Bob.
on Discord.
Doodle Bob. But
Doodle
no,
Bob.
Her hands have come on the screen before.
yeah,
She
Oh.
does some typing because she has much cleaner hands than mine.
That
And nicer looking, and as well as she types correctly, where I type like a Neanderthal. So
2 things. 1, I like the idea of her hands on stream. Just throwing that out there. 2, I think it's
Come on,
correctly Neanderthal. If we're gonna
idiot.
be, if
Well,
I'm
I'll
gonna
just
be
say idiot.
pedant about it. So
it's a
are we? We're gonna raid people. I'm gonna talk so
Yeah.
long you're gonna have no one to raid him with. So let's
I'm
fucking do it.
starting the raid right now. But thank you guys very much. Langelandia, Jeff. Langeladladia.
It's like a mixture of Portlandia and Langlady.
Langelandia and Lady Body Parts is what you just combined. My name.
Lanklandy, Lady of the Lake in Louisville, Landia.
Oh,
This
shit.
was so much fun. Really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for coming on. It was really cool to hear some insight.
Anytime. But thank you. What's that? Ooh,
Buy a switch tester. That's what that is.
switch tester with some Krellbit caps and some salt artisans.
Salt
I love it.
and oh heck.
Aw, heck. They gave out keycaps at the Minnesota meetup,
Love it.
which is a thing. It's a Midwest thing, I guess. When you almost run into someone, like at the office, you go,
Oh, sorry.
it's apparently a
Hold
Midwest
on.
thing. My East Coast friends were like, I don't fucking say that. I said, get out of my way. Like, okay, that's fair.
Love it.
Yeah.
Raid time.
Peace out.
Good time.
Say hello, NorCal. Say hello to IMEURU. Give him the follow. Give him the bits.
See y'all next time.